Hi, and welcome again to our last topic here in this module 4 for our assessment of learning 2. So this time, let's have our discussion on our lesson 3, development of effective assessment tools. So assessment tools in affective domain, in particular, those which are used to assess attitudes, interests, motivations, and self-efficacy have been developed. So previously on our lesson 1 and 2, we have already discussed the learning competencies, um, the taxonomy of affective domain. Now let's discuss in how to develop an assessment tool for affective domain. So there are actually three feasible methods of assessing affective domain traits and disposition. First is teacher observation, second is student self-report, and lastly is the peer ratings. Okay, so the three consideration in assessing affect is one, emotions and feeling change quickly and most especially for young children and during early adolescence. It is important that when we assess the affective domain of a student, we need to make sure that we have these three considerations. So the first one is we need to consider their emotions and feelings that it is actually like changing quickly, especially if they are younger or they are in their early adolescence years. Two, use varied approaches in measuring the same affective traits as possible. So it is important that we also use different approaches and measuring tools whenever we measure affective trait or measure the same affective trait as possible. And lastly, decide what type of data or results are needed. It may be individual or a group data. Okay, so in teacher observation, so this is the first tool that we use when we have our assessment in affective domain, teacher observation. So this is often used when the teacher wants to observe the approach behaviors, may it be positive, and avoidance behaviors, the negative. And then there are two types of this kind of observation, the unstructured and structured observation. So when we actually say teacher observation, this is an observation made by the teacher. And this is actually being categorized into two. The first one is unstructured and the second one is structured. Unstructured, this is normally an open-ended, no checklist or rating scale in use, and everything that is observed is just simply recorded. So these are normally like open-ended lang siya na hindi yung wala tayong checklist na gina-check or wala tayong rating scale na ginagamit. This is merely like an observation that a teacher recorded. Then structured observation is a checklist or rating forms. These are actually the one that has rating scales or checklist. We are checking the behavior of the student per the checklist that we have actually developed. Then the next one is the student self-report. Student self-report tool is when we have like student interview or surveys and questionnaires. So student interview, there is an opportunity the teacher may have direct involvement with the students wherein teachers can probe and respond for better understanding. So this is the time wherein um, we have like an interview with the student. So meron na siyang direct involvement. And then survey and questionnaires. These are actually the two types of using survey and questionnaires. The constructive response. In survey and questionnaire, we actually have two types. This is the constructed and then the other one here is the selected. So in the constructed response in which it is straightforward approach, asking the student about their affect by responding to simple statement of question, while the selected response is which student can choose from options, and this assures anonymity. So sa constructed response, ito yung like straightforward na approach kay student, while on the other hand, the selected response, ito yung si student yung magse-select ng response, like a multiple choice question. Then lastly is the peer rating. So peer ratings, it is the least common method in assessing effect because students may not take this seriously. So however, the teachers can accurately observe what is being assessed in peer ratings since teachers also engage with the students. So ito yung sa peer rating, ito yung student yung ina-ask mo in rating their peers or classmates. Kapag ginawa nila yon, normally, this is like least common method used because normally yung student parang di nila binibigyan ng, not really serious. Sometimes it's bias. Kasi kung friend nila yung ina-assess nila, of course, they will give, good ratings. But if they don't like that person, then they will have bad rating. Though honestly, if ever they will do that one, we can still help them or check that one out if it is like accurate or not by doing the observation also. So this is the peer rating. So these are actually the sample of effective assessment tools. So checklist, rating scale, and Likert scale. Well, I don't need to like elaborate, but of course, all of you or most of you knows already what is checklist. Ito yung nasa first table dito na. Like for example, you will put here if you're observing the development of a student. Like for example, you will have here before, during, and after. What are the differences? What are actually the behavior that the student is showing? So pwede mo lang siyang i-check dyan. Then rating scale. If you would actually like I'm pretty sure you've already have it in, especially in doing like webinars, 'di ba? May mga webinars and then they will be like a rating there na um totally agree, totally disagree, yung mga ganon. So, yun din, lalagay mo lang din yung rate mo doon. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And the same with like rating evaluation for teachers every semester, di ba meron din ganon. So, parang ganon lang din, ilalagay mo lang din kung ano yung rate mo sa kay teacher. So, yun yung ginagamit ng rating scale. Last is the Likert scale. Ito yon. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na like strongly disagree, disagree, undecided, agree, strongly agree. So ito yung Likert scale. So yes, this is the samples. And then this is the semantic differential scale. So as you can see here, this is minor sentence completion scale. So like for example, boring, useful, exciting, comfortable. So makikita mo dyan na may 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 na scale then. All you need to do is just like check which one is preferred, or like for example kung ikaw teacher yung gagawa, so check mo lang dyan kung boring ba yung ginagawa ng bata or useful ba siya, lang ganun. The next is sentence completion. Sentence completion, from the word itself, ang gagawin mo lang is to complete the sentence. So like for example this one, I am sorry, yung sa ibabaw pala, hindi pala yung minor sentence completion. Ito yung nasa baba. Like for example, if I am promoted, I will, yung ganon. So naka-blank siya, and then ikaw na lang din ang lalagay kung ano yung sa palagay mo yung rating na, yung nararamdaman mo sa nire-rate mo. So this is the sentence completion. All right. I think that this is it. This is the last part of our topic. So welcome again to our discussion, and congratulations also in finishing our topic for midterm. So have a great day.